Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. We're very excited to show off some of the big changes that will be coming to EZFacility's TMS platform, with an expected release in the evening of Sunday, March 17th in the US, Monday morning, the 18th in the UK. There will be 2 hours of downtime that evening, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, while we roll out these changes. Notifications about the downtime will be posted. Please note that the systems we'll be reviewing today are still in testing, so there may still be some rough edges that will be smoothed out before we release. The three major components that we'll be discussing today are the calendar sync, the new groups and subgroup pages, and our totally revamped point of sale. Keep in mind that this is just the first round of updates to these systems, which serve as the foundation for what is to come. Over the next weeks and months, you'll see a steady stream of new features that build upon the changes coming in this release. These updates are based on the feedback we've received in our suggestion box, so we encourage everyone to keep sending in their great ideas that we can use to make EZFacility even better. First up comes from the top of our suggestion box votes list. With over 200 votes, we hear you loud and clear that you want to be able to sync your EZFacility schedule with your Google Calendars, your iPhones and iPads, your Microsoft Outlook calendars, and other services that support the iCalendar format. As we log in, you'll notice right away on your schedule page that a new button has been added above your calendars, labeled Sync to Calendar. This button appears for each user with access to the schedule, and the settings they choose will be unique to them. The first step is to create your iCalendar link. To do this, we need to enable your calendar feature. Once this is activated, a unique URL is generated for you in the Sync URL button box. This URL will not change unless this feature is disabled and re-enabled. Next, we choose which resources are included in your sync. If your trainer is only interested in their own events, they can just select their name from the list. You may also select multiple resources, or, using the checkbox at the top, all of them. After this, we choose which reservation types that we want to sync. Perhaps you only want to know about certain types of classes, such as personal training. Maybe you just want to exclude certain types, or maybe you just want it all. It's up to you. Now, we select how many days in the past and in the future you want to include in your sync. You can select up to the previous 90 days or up to 90 days ahead. Then we decide, do you want to include reservations without any bookings? What about sessions with bookings? Rentals? Or other reservations, such as program instruction or unavailable? Finally, you can choose the level of detail that syncs over, including any notes about the reservation and a list of the bookings. Be sure to click Save Preferences so that your changes are applied, and then you can copy the sync URL. You can now subscribe to this URL in your calendar app. For your Google Calendars, for example, you would go under your Other Calendars, select the little black arrow, and choose Add by URL. Paste this URL into the space provided. For your iPhones and other iOS devices, go into the Settings option, select Mail, Contacts, and Calendar, then choose Add Account, choose the other type of account, and then Add Subscribed Calendar. Next up is your Groups page. At first glance, not much seems to have changed on the Groups page, but let's click on one of these groups to see what's going on under the hood. Right away, you'll notice that the Group Details screen has been given the same modernization treatment as our reports and administration pages have already received. The tabs along the top have been moved to the sidebar. The interface is cleaner, and each option is separated and easy to identify. The subgroups are also displayed on the sidebar, and you can click on them to jump from one to another quickly and easily. There's also a new feature with subgroups that we'll get to in a moment. First off, let's take a look at your lists, such as your group members. These are now using a new kind of interface, which will significantly change how you can use this page. By clicking and dragging a column header, you can now change the order in which the columns are displayed. By right-clicking on the column headers, you can also choose which columns are displayed and which are hidden, so that you can turn on or off the details that are important to you. You can also choose how many entries appear on the screen at one time, and use the arrows to switch between pages. Back to the sidebar, Notice how your subgroups are now called associated groups. This is because the Groups page now allows for multiple layers of subgroups, or nested groups. You can now organize an event into tiers. A tournament or league can now have divisions, with age groups and genders, and then teams below them. Changing levels and organizing your events is as easy as specifying "move this group" and choosing which level to put that new group under. The online registration forms for these events allow clients to register into the current layer and the subgroup immediately below it. So for example, if you only want your teams to register at the age and gender level, select that subgroup and choose online registration. If they choose to register a new team or into a team, they'll be registered into the layer immediately below. Perhaps you want clients to register at a higher level, such as at division. You can allow them to do that too, simply by clicking on that division and choosing online registration. Each level can have its own online registration form, set up exactly as how online registration forms have always been created. Note that adding this functionality is a big step towards adding divisions to EZLeagues, which is something we plan to add in a future release. Now, of all the changes we'll see today, point of sale has to be the most dramatic. The point of sale interface has been redesigned from the ground up to use Adobe Air technology. This allows for an extremely powerful new foundation from which to build all of the features you've been asking for. Let's take a look at your point of sale options in administration to see how this change has affected your products. When we select product categories and inventory, you'll notice that the product categories page has been given a modern makeover. The menu on the sidebar, details on the right. Under each category, there are two new options, a default revenue category and a default tax rate. Revenue categories for point of sale items have been a long overdue addition, and we're happy to announce that they will be part of this update. In addition to being specified as a default in that category, they can also be chosen on a per item basis as well. On the sidebar on the left, you'll find a list of your product categories. This makes it easy to jump between your different categories. To reorder the list, simply click on one of your categories and drag it above or below another category. If you click on a category and drop it on top of another, this allows you to create subcategories. Now, in order to track your product categories and tax rates, we've needed to change how point of sale keeps track of your receipts. Every transaction generated in the new point of sale will now create an invoice and a payment, the same way your packages and memberships do. For point of sale transactions without a client, there's a new record in your client list named Point of Sale Customer, which will serve as a way to review these orders. This does mean that all of your existing point of sale data will need to be converted to invoices, which will take some time. We expect to have all of your 2013 data done and ready for you on the first day of release, with all of your historical records converted within 3 days after. Now, let's take a look at the new point of sale interface. Right away, you'll notice that the new point of sale opens in its own window. It asks for your username and password again, because the point of sale module can now be run as a standalone app. After we sign in, you can see how the icons are large and easily distinguished. The new point of sale is designed to work great with your touchscreen monitor. To get started, you'll just need to select a register for that session. If your account has multiple locations and have point of sale enabled, you'll be able to see and use the registers at those locations as well. After selecting your register, you'll see a list of your products. You can use the arrows at the bottom to scroll between screens, or select Product Category to filter your display to just show items in that category. If your facility does equipment rentals, you can use the button at the top of the screen to add those to your cart as well. Clicking on an item will add it to your order. From the order, the quantity and the price can be changed by clicking on the column and selecting that number. An item can also be removed from the cart by clicking on the red X next to that item. You can also choose to apply a discount, either a global discount to all items in the cart, or you can apply a discount to an individual item by clicking on it once to highlight it in yellow, and then select individual coupon or discount. If you have your coupon codes, those will be listed on this screen, or you can choose custom discount to apply either a percentage-based or a flat discount. So for this example, let's go ahead and put in a 25% discount. Once we submit this, you'll see that the discount has now been added to the cart and the receipt subtotal has been calculated for you. To complete this transaction, we'll click Finish Sale, and here we'll be asked to select our payment type and amount. Note that if the client wishes to split their payment between a credit card and some other amount, they can use Split Tender to process a credit card of a partial amount and then pay the rest with another payment method. If a client has been selected for this transaction, you can also choose to bill later, which will save the unpaid invoice on their account rather than require an immediate payment. Think of this as a first step towards a tab. Now, if you want to record a memo for a payment, simply click on the yellow button next to that payment type, such as cash, enter in a memo text, and then select that payment method. Here we can enter in how much the client is paying or choose exact change. Once we select Accept, we can now complete the transaction by selecting New Sale. If you don't have receipts automatically generated, you can also choose to reprint the receipt. Clicking Finish Sale will bring back your item list. Also note that the new point of sale also has an integrated check-in system, so that if a client wishes to sign in while you're in the middle of a POS transaction, you can select this and allow them to do so without interfering with the rest of the process. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this sneak peek at what is coming soon to EZFacility. We're very excited to get these changes in your hands as soon as possible. We can't wait to start building on their foundation. Again, we encourage you to make use of our suggestion box found on our community site at community.ezfacility.com or by clicking on the Help button in the upper right corner of your EZFacility screen. If you have any questions about these updates, please don't hesitate to reach out to our support team. Thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to making your use of EZFacility easier and better than ever. Thank you.